Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. I want to jump in today talking about lots of stuff and negativity that comes with being a single mom. It is wild to me that in 2024 we're still dealing with just ridiculous, outdated beliefs and thoughts about women raising children independently and, different family structures, be it same-sex couples, single fathers, whatever it is, you know what I mean, that people are doing in their own homes, raising their children to just be lovely people. I don't understand the negativity. I mean, I do, in the sense that, I grew up with those same ridiculous narratives. My parents divorced when I was 12. My dad moved out. He remarried fairly quickly. And it wasn't handled well. And I struggled with it tremendously because, again, as an adult now, I recognize that there was so much talk about, our family was broken. Oh, you come from a broken home. There was a lot of just negativity when in reality, our family dynamic wasn't great before my parents split up. So there wasn't really, it wasn't the fact that they were no longer together that was the problem. You know what I mean? And I feel like people get that twisted so much. It's like, oh, but you come from married parents. You must be set up. You must be emotionally mature. You must feel so empowered and loved, and you must have had a beautiful childhood. It's like the ignorance is ignoranting. But it's true because one thing doesn't always equal the other or the same, you know what I mean? There are lovely people that were raised by, a mom and a dad and they turned out fantastic. There are people that were raised by a single parent and turned out fantastic. And there are people that are raised by same-sex couples that turned out fantastic. People that were raised by a grandparent or an aunt, or you know what I mean? There are tons of people that have grown up in foster care that have turned out fantastic. Not to say that, nobody came from struggle or had hardships in their lives. I believe that everybody has had hardships in their lives, and it's all about, perspective and our own individual experiences. So it's so easy to say theirs was worse than mine, or mine was worse than theirs, or you know what I mean? It's all about perspective. So I just find it so silly to still nowadays have such a negative undertone with, people being raised by a single mom. I think that there are great moms, and no matter what, if they're doing it solo or with a husband or with a partner or whatever it is, they can be really great moms and their kids can be fantastic. And again, that's not to say that, there aren't negatives and there aren't hardships to doing it on your own. But like I've said 1,000,001 times, and I'll say it again, when you're with somebody, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not hard either. Okay, well, let that sink in. How many girlfriends do you see that are with a partner and they're miserable? Or, you have a sister or a cousin and you see them with their spouse and you're like, oh my God, poor girl, I want to hug her. He's miserable or she's miserable. They're miserable together. And the thing is that kids absorb that. Do you know what I mean? And it's, having an amicable split or co-parenting properly and with the child's best interest at heart is obviously best case scenario when those things end. A lot of times it doesn't happen that way. And one thing my therapist taught me was that you cannot control other people and you can't make people do things the way that you see fit. So as a mom who was trying to co-parent with a narcissist for a couple of years, I recognize that doing it solo without the involvement of a narcissistic co-parent, having my kids full time, one of which who I had with a donor and one of which I had with my ex who's no longer in the picture, hasn't been for 5 years almost. The differences are so much better, you know what I mean? Things are so much better. There's nothing that I'm like, oh man, it was so much easier. It was so much better when we were together. It wasn't. It wasn't. Having a partner, it wasn't. And this is not to say too, like, because I recognize that, again, I've said it before, but that you like attracts like, right? So there's a reason why we were attracted to each other. There was like the toxic vibe that we, you know, brought us together, and trauma bond and all that stuff. But coming out of it is what helped me realize my own patterns and the fact that I was, you know, we were attracted to each other for a reason, and I'm not interested in attracting none of that ever again. Thank you. Goodbye. But yeah, I think that there's so much, again, of just the narrative that because you're doing it solo, your kids are destined for failure. And it's so ridiculous, because just because there's not a dad in the picture, a father figure, whatever, that the kids are going to fail. It's so ignorant. It's so annoying. It's so misguided. And again, from, you know, when you're divorcing, separating or whatever, it's all in, or choosing to do this on your own, right? It's all in how you do it. It's all in the fact that you should be prioritizing your children. You should be keeping their best interests as numero uno. And that is so hard to do. Again, if you're doing it with somebody who's just not on board and wants to make life difficult for you, and are not, you know, at the end of the day, they're not keeping the best interests of the kids at heart, because they're just selfish or narcissistic or whatever. And that's why there's so many people that'll say to me, like, you know, really, you'd rather do it alone? And yeah, ask any woman, any mother who's been in a situation that wasn't great, that's had to co-parent or is co-parenting with someone who's less than easy to deal with, okay, all of the time. And, you know, it's really, really easy to understand why many women are choosing to become a single mom by choice. I mean, you don't have to worry about custody battle ever, especially if you're doing it the route that I did, which was go through a sperm bank, go through fertility clinic and all those things. Like, all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed to make sure that legally you are good. And yeah, like you don't have to worry about any of that. That is completely eliminated from your journey, guaranteed. So, I mean, there is the possibility that when your child is older that they are going to want to connect with biological family, which I think is great because they are 18, they are older then. Not to say that, you know, it might not be a very challenging experience, because I've heard some stories that were really challenging, and I've heard some stories that were fantastic for some people that are donor conceived. So, I mean, of course there's no guarantees, but from 0 to 18, which are like huge, important years in your child's life, okay, you have full control. You don't have to worry about somebody stepping in and out at their convenience, or, you know, creating any damage or any of that. Like, it's all on you. I mean, the flip side of that is it's all on you, right? The responsibility is all yours, but I'll take it gladly, no questions asked. If that's the thing that I have to think about, I'll take it. All of it on my shoulders immediately. Thank you. And I mean, there's so many other things. Like, I always joke, like, oh, well, you don't have mother-in-law to worry about. And it's funny because my daughter's father's mom, so like my mother-in-law, we never got married, but she was actually kind of great. I mean, she had her own issues, but she was always nothing but kind to me. So it's not really about her. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I've dated guys, all my relationships have been long-term, so it's kind of been like mother-in-law energy. And I mean, I've dated people who their moms were great. I've dated some that like we just didn't click. But I've never had like a monster-in-law type of situation. I just hear tons of stories and I'm like, no, thank you. I am not interested. So it is a bonus. I mean, things like choosing the name, you don't have to argue about that. Parenting styles is huge, okay, that nobody talks about. Nobody thinks about that. And that's like, I want to scream from the rooftops, because if you are choosing to get married amen to you. You're choosing to have a life partner, amen to you. Like, I'm all about people choosing what is right for them. I'm not saying that my choice is the best choice for everybody, nor is your choice the best choice for everybody. You know what I mean? But if you are going to live a life with somebody, you need to know just who they are, who they plan to be, what, you know, see them with kids, see them with children. Hopefully there's kids in your life, like through, you know, you have friends that have kids or family members that have young kids or whatever it is. Because I mean, I never had kids around. I had my half brothers were little, my half sister little, and I wasn't around much. My dad had them when I was significantly older. So, I mean, I was in the middle of my teenage partying and all that, and I really wasn't around to be able to see how I was with them. So I didn't even know who I was as a parent. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I knew I just didn't want to yell. I knew that I would not be hitting, and I knew that I wanted to be patient, and I wanted to be like in their lives, you know, and be like a really hands-on mom. But other than that, like, I mean, I had no experience. I didn't know how I was gonna be. You just have maybe these ideals, sure, but until you're actually thrown into parenthood, you have no idea, okay? And then when you add into the mix parenting with somebody who is also figuring it out, it is hard, okay? It's hard, it's so hard. But I mean, does it mean that it's impossible? Of course not. But you just want to make sure that you are doing it with somebody that, first off, you love, respect, admire, and like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that's like, I love him, he's great, or vice versa. But like, do you like them? Like them. Like their company, like the way they think, like the way they move, like the way they do things. You know what I mean? That's huge. And not a lot of people can say that. Like, there's a lot of, I don't like him right now and whatever. And that's okay, of course, but you want to be with somebody who you just like, okay? If you're going to have a life with this person, especially parenting together with this person. But yeah, so my advice is definitely get around kids. See, you know, have your nieces and nephews come over, or have a picnic with your friends that have kids, and really see, because, yeah, it can be hard. And even if you're not going to have a baby with another person, I mean, you're planning on doing it as a single mom by choice, it's a good idea too. Get around kids, see what it's like. See if you really want this lifestyle, you know, and see, you know, if it's what you think your parenting style is going to be like, and what kind of things that you want to adopt from, you know, your friends or the people around you, you know, and maybe get advice from them too, because those are the people that are really going to tell you, right? The people that are close to you and that know you, so they can kind of give you sound advice, right? But yeah, just back to the outdated narratives. I mean, times are changing. Buckle your seatbelt. I mean, I think it's incredibly beautiful that so many women are just, of course, having careers and all those things, but now more than ever having families of their own and homes of their own. And it's hard out there right now. I know it's crazy here too, but you know, just building lives. And even if that means having a little apartment, or, you know what I mean? We're deciding to just do things our way and leaning on each other. And, you know, there's this whole idea of having a village and what that was supposed to look like. It turns out for a lot of millennials, our parents aren't really into the grandparent thing. And it's a very common thing among many millennials. And that's hard because most of us grew up with our grandparents involved, spending weekends at the grandparents, summers at the grandparents, things like that. It's different. I will forewarn you. There's not a lot of village in the way that most of us envisioned a village to look like, right? The one that we had, or our parents had when we were kids, it's not the same. But that's, you know, there are villages in the sense of coming together with girlfriends, tons of girlfriends online. The amount of girlfriends that I've made online that I've never met in real life, I can't even tell you. And it's empowering just to see women of tons of different walks of life choosing to do this, choosing to, go after a career and find love after, and, getting their own home by themselves, okay? Just living life. Some of them are just deciding that they don't want kids at all, and they want to just travel and be single and date and flirt and have these just short-lived romances and just romanticizing their life and doing the things that make them happy. And it's so hot. Do you know what how amazing is that when you lay down at 95, in your bed thinking about your life, you want it to be something with Nancy Meyers, but your version. You know what I mean? Such a romanticized, beautiful life. And it doesn't have to look the same as they told us it had to be. Do you know what I mean? That whole story of you have to find your Prince Charming, and then all your dreams will come true, and buy that home together and have that family together, and you can stay home and you can braid your hair and make bread. Maybe that's not what you want, and that's okay. You know what I mean? I wish more of us knew earlier on that doesn't have to be end goal, and I mean, if you do want that, you can have that, or you can have that, or you can have or you know what I mean? It doesn't have to look the way they told us it has to look. And I am so here for it. I think it's incredible. Again, world is changing slowly. We're taking strides in the right direction. You can do everything that you want to do. You just have to, I'm so cheesy. You have to believe in yourself. But it's true. Talk to yourself the way that you would talk to your figurative child, or if you have children now, the way that you talk to them. You're gonna light them up and bring them up and empower them to just go after what it is that they want, their dreams, their whatever it is. You're gonna be like, you got this, babe. You're amazing. You're fantastic. And I love you. So do that for yourself. And if you need somebody to cheer you on, you need some one-on-one, you want an online girlfriend, hi, I'm here. Shoot me a DM. I'm always around. So I would love to just cheer you on, hear your story, and maybe give you some, personalized guidance. Of course, if you have a specific story or thing that you're working on that you're trying to get past, or whatever it is that could hopefully get past to allow you to, lead the life that you've always dreamed of, and have the courage to do things differently despite maybe the traditional people that are around you, because it can be tough, but you can do it. And I'm here to support you. And yeah, I'm so grateful for you for being here. And all I'm asking right now is for you to go out and change the narrative. Maybe share this video with the people in your life that don't get it. Maybe talk to your friends about different kind of family structures and single moms and raising kids in different non-traditional ways, and just having an open mind and keeping an open mind when you're out in the real world, and to spread kindness and joy wherever you go. So I'm grateful. Thank you for being here. That's it. If you have questions, shoot them below. I'll do my best to answer next week. Thank you for being here. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. Thank you. Bye.